What's going on, my fellow reef builders? I know it's been quite a minute since I've invited you to see the entire studio and all of its progress, but for a while there, I felt like I was just showing you incremental changes to the studio. But I went back and watched the last studio progress video, and while I have been showing you like certain little things that I've been doing in the studio, it is way past time to show you the entire thing because so much has happened. So much has come together, and I can almost taste somewhat of a finish line for phase one for the studio. And I'm still gonna be building plenty of reefs, but let's take you around the studio and show you what is new. So first of all, you may have noticed this nice, big, shiny, flat screen TV I got over here in the studio. I also got myself a nice standing desk, so I was able to finally bring my iMac, my entire video production workflow over there. I'm not sure if I had this couch behind me, but now I have a nice little place to take a nap. So what else do we have? So this is the studio. I actually have the studio lighting that's going to be installed up here probably in just a matter of a few days. And let's see what else. So this island right here, I think the last time you saw it, it was over on that wall. And the most recognizable part of it is going to be this Nano reef tank. This guy is doing really, really well. You'll notice I have cultivated a very healthy and lush carpet of hair algae, which I don't mind because this tank has had no water changes since I set it up. Now I know it would be looking better if I'd done some water changes, but another thing is that in the afternoon, light streaks from that window and hits this tank for a solid 15 minutes. So that's a lot of intensity and nutrients, especially for a tank that hasn't had a decent water change in a little while. So, also, while I'm giving you this tour, I'm gonna tell you about some of the things that are gonna get their own video updates. So this is gonna be one of them. We're gonna clean that up together, give it a little tune-up, give it a little makeover. All right, so one of the other big changes, before I skip, I think you guys saw this tank when it was over there. And you know what? It just kind of fell into place here at the end of this island. And I've got a Kessel 360X. That is the first 360X that I'm kind of playing with for permanent aquarium use. And I am aiming to do a really fun red sword plant kind of concentrated aquarium. This tank I put together mostly for my Ultim angelfish that I have at home. They're beautiful, but they can't really compete with the rainbow fish that they're with to get enough food. So this is gonna be a fun South American biotope to kind of balance off everything. And then one of the things I am most excited about is the Mode aquarium system. Not only is it done, but I am so happy with it. I am so freaking happy with it. This is gonna be a video update on its own, but what can I tell you for now? For now, I've got it plumbed up the way I want. I've got a few decorations, a little bit of biomedia. I've got my Clarity Gen 2 filter in there. Oh my goodness, this thing was a lifesaver because when I first set up the tank, it was so loud. It was gurgling so freaking loudly. And it was really disruptive. But then when I put the Clarity Gen 2 on, not only is it automatically mechanically filtering the water, but it's so silent that the first few days I had to keep looking over here to make sure that this tank was running. Big thanks to Evan Montgomery for helping me put this tank together, and also Justin Lawyer, one of the founders of Ecotech Marine, for giving me the best advice for plumbing this tank, because now I have plenty of power. And so yeah, look for a future update on this tank very soon. So perhaps one of the most important, profound new developments here at the studio, it's gonna get its own update, is the first coral flat. The first coral flat, let's see, what do we have? We got a bunch of radions have been installed, doing great. I've got it on bright and white for the video right now, but I'm running mostly blue. I also found a perfect shelf to put my pickle barrel up in the air so that I can use the float switch that I've showed you guys before to get some nice automatic auto top off. So the corals in here are doing excellent, you guys. They're doing so freaking good. I've been super duper thankful. I've got a few sunburst bubble tip anemones in there that are doing excellent. The only thing that's not really killing it in that tank is chalice corals. I've got shrooms doing great, montes, acros, moons, soft corals, zoanthids, everything's doing great. So I think I'm gonna have to take the chalices home because I got some happy chalices at home and figure out why they're not thrilled. But anyway, this tank is killing it. This is gonna get its own feature. I'm gonna walk you through the corals. So this is actually part of the reason for the pause in the update to the studio, because I wanted to stop and take my time and really dial in this tank and just stay on top of it before I set up every other thing in the studio and get overwhelmed with 10 tanks that aren't performing quite the way I would like. So this tank is killing it. Look for a future update on that. In the meantime, I've got these two coral flats also going. This one is just running the Xl 360X blue, right? The other one was the tuna sound. So this is the blue. I've got a handful of corals in there. I've got the Nano's quantum skimmer. It's just, that thing skims way beyond the sides. And this is about to really come online. I have another handful of Radion G4 Pros coming in for that tank and for that tank. So you might be wondering what's in here. And the last time I did a full studio update, I showed you some wild rock that I had picked up from Rob Mouget, and I put it in here to cure the funk of the things that were left over from when it was in an aquarium, and then to cycle it. So I think it's pretty well cycled now. I think it's been a couple months. It's showing it's just now starting to show a little bit of diatoms, and you might be wondering why I have it aquascaped like that, but basically I've got one row of rock here, one row of rock there, and I'm letting the return pump, the closed loop, hybrid closed loop return pump, just kind of blow down the middle, soak my tiles while it's at it, and then it can come back around in the two sides just to give this a whole lot of brushing, water agitation. So that is the coral flats here at the studio, totally killing it. I'm very, very happy with how they're going so far. One thing I want to point out, I guess, before I move on to the next section, is I kind of have a snake pit over here. You know, all my power supplies and controllers are sort of organized a little bit, but I've been just kind of leaving it as is on this system, as well as on the fish system, until I figure out what I'm going to do. So don't hate me for the poor cable management, because I want to wrap it all up as soon as I figure out everything that's gonna be on that system. So that's gonna be another video, the whole cable management, how to do it, best ways, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, here's another section that I'm really happy to share with you guys, because you've watched this one grow from the beginning. It's still not running, but you should be able to see some changes. Look at that beautifulness. We've got 4 Innovative Marine Nuvo EXT. This is the 30 shallow, 40 cubish, the 50, the 75 EXT, and the 100 EXT. So big thumbs up to Innovative Marine for helping me finishing up the Innovative Marine row, basically. And as you'll see, I've got these custom, one-of-a-kind, personally painted white stands. Now, in my last complete progress video, I said I was gonna make a boss call and leave him black. But you know, Evan came down one day and we just decided today was the day, and so we sanded everything down, washed everything down, and then painted, drank some beer, painted, drank some beer, painted again and again and again. So these are actually really bright white, and I'm so happy I did, because I don't know how it looks on video, but in the room when it's really bright in here, these tanks are just floating. The white stands just kind of disappear with the wall, and I can't believe I almost didn't do that. Okay, so I know you're probably wondering, what is all this other stuff in the background? Well, I'm going to tell you, and one of my first, what I consider flagship reef tanks, is the Waterboxx Peninsula XL. This is the biggest Peninsula tank that Waterboxx makes. Starfire everywhere, awesome stand, awesome sump. Right now I'm just using it to put the Nyos Quantum 300 there. I'm not gonna use it for this tank, but this is gonna be one of my favorite Reef tanks. The biggest challenge with this tank is the floor is so unlevel, y'all. It's 1.5 inches over 6 feet. And the tank comes with leveling feet. Those weren't enough. I went to the hardware store. It's got a ton of spaces for bolts. Went to the hardware store, put new bolts in there, but then they're just starting to get a little bit too long and they're starting to bend a little bit on the end. So I'm not sure how well you can see that, but it's not exactly straight over here. So gonna have to build some kind of platform to help deal with the floor, and that's kind of the hold up for this. But I'm also trying to round out the whole studio before I start really seriously reef building. Okay, you ready for some more awesome reef tanks? Check this out right here. This is my custom glass aquarium with the external overflow from Planet Aquarium. I could not be any happier with this tank. These things are gonna be so freaking sweet. I'm very, very excited about it. So this tank is 8 feet long, 30 inches wide, 30 inches tall, just shy of 400 gallons. We're gonna call it 400. And I haven't opened it yet because it's so heavy. I'm just gonna need a bunch of guys here. So the unboxing and reveal video of this tank is gonna be its own separate video. And you know what, the tank, I kinda know what to expect from the tank, right? It's a glass box, it's got an external overflow, it's high clarity glass. It does have a very unique metal bracing, which you can kinda see there over my shoulder. But I think the real neat part is gonna be the stand. So this is my first ever tubular steel stand, also built by Planet Aquariums, and just based off of a short conversation at MACNA, Jerry and the guys put together something that they knew would fit in with the studio and the motif, so I don't really know what it looks like. I'm expecting a lot of white, maybe a little bit of blue accents, but that's gonna be part of a separate reveal video. And then, let me just catch my breath here. There's so much to tell you about. Right back there, finally got Red Sea up in the studio. This is the Red Sea Peninsula 650. And this is gonna be a perfect complement to the Waterboxx. You'll see we have the Waterboxx here. The Red Sea reefer is gonna go there. So it's gonna make a really neat kind of partial room divider when I have the Waterboxx here and then the Red Sea tank there. Very excited to get that set up. That just came in today, so I think Evan's coming by tomorrow, maybe. So we're gonna set that up and put it in place. And this is one of the aquariums that I had in mind from the beginning to have in that spot. Like the first time I walked in here, I'm like, oh yeah, Red Sea Reefer Peninsula right there, and hopefully another peninsula right there, which I already have. Also, not sure if I showed you this, but I've got Julian Sprung's own custom handmade small batch sea salt mix in the house. Thank you so much to Two Little Fishies for providing the studio with the best foundation of well-formulated seawater. I'm very excited, and I'm gonna have Brightwell as well to complement the reefiness up in here. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this casual tour here of the studio. The trees are doing good, the plants are doing good. I don't have that many fish. The Nano Reef tank is killing it. The coral tank is killing it. This is the review desk, review shelf in progress. And this is a variety of products that will be reviewed here at the studio in the near future. So yeah, so much has happened at the studio, right? And I'm gonna really challenge myself to put out a lot of videos before the end of the year. I don't know what that number will be, but last week, if you joined me and all of you guys, all the readers for the premieres on YouTube. That was so much fun. And we put out 3 videos back to back to back about white corals, about their holding, their dry goods, their livestock, and then that reef display. If you're watching this and you haven't seen the White Corals Peninsula Room Divider, just go watch that video right now. That thing is really, really insane. So yeah. I think that's a pretty good overview. Not much changed so much in the workshop yet, but I am getting settled in, and I'm starting to make use of my vast supply and access to various aquarium products. It's very nice when I feel like there's some level missing in the coral tank. Just walk over here to the workshop and just grab what I need. So having a lot of fun. And man, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, for joining in. Hey, look, I can critique myself on the video now in high definition. But yeah, this is fun. It's coming along. I'm trying to balance out, bring you along with the progress versus actually making the progress happen. So big thanks to my sponsors, Brightwell, Ecotech, Worldwide. Those guys have really been wind in my sails, and it makes this experience so much fun. I don't have to beg you guys to subscribe because, you know, the diehards, you guys know where this channel is at. So yeah, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Continue on being the commenting champions of YouTube, at least in the reef aquarium world. I am going to start working on the next video, which is probably going to be cleaning up this Nano reef tank because it really, really needs it. So yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying the progress and all the videos coming out on the Reef Builders YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys again very, very soon. Peace out, guys.